Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, and it is time to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. My name is Jeff Gerstmann. We're here and ready, except for the part where I didn't pull the list up. That's the non-ready part of this. You know, let's get the list already. 664 games have been ranked thus far. And here they are. At the bottom, we've got a game called Harlem Globetrotters, which the instructions claim is a basketball game. I don't know about that. At the top here, we've got Mega Man 2 and some other classics here. Really just a pretty killer top 25, even the top 30 of some great video games here. It's been rewarding to explore the NES library for these 100 and what's the actual number here? 126 episodes, and we're making our way through it. We've got a fresh batch. Some of those games are suggested by you, the viewer. You can find out more about that over at jeff.zone and sign up for the Patreon at the advisory panel tier. You can advise me to get bent or to suggest some video games. And I will play them. The baby decided it would be cool to stay up most of the night, so I've been up. It's been an interesting 12 hours here. But let's get to what matters, and that's the science. Up first, Funnydale. Wanted to see this one. I tried to forget that this existed, but you can't. See, this is my watch is telling me, hey, your sleep duration was out of its typical range. I'm like, dog, I know. Believe me, I know. We got to launch games this way because the desktop menu is broken right now in RetroArch. So, okay, is this the US version? No, that's Europe. Here we have Wizards and Warriors 3, Kuros, Visions of Power. All right. I don't think I have ever played this game. Wizards and Warriors 2 was enough for me. After a long and furious battle, the valiant Kuros believed he had destroyed the evil Malkill, but the enchanter's inhuman spirit had survived. I hate when that happens. Okay. Was that his inhuman spirit getting away? Oh no! That ghost has a shitty beard. In his weakened state, the wizard fled the scene of the battle. He sought sanctuary far away in the city of Pied Up, a happy and peaceful place. You know I stay pied up. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Meanwhile, Kuros was lost in the harsh wilderness without food, armor, or weapons. His journey was long, cold, hungry, and perilous. Pied up! Brah! Oh no. Oh. Oh, I'm over here. Oh. Ah, get him. He's got a sword. Like, you get. Okay. Now safely entrenched in the royal palace, the rejuvenated Malkill wickedly seizes the throne from the good King James, thus gaining control of the city. Oh no, King James. Ah! You drove me out before I could finish translating the Bible. After many months of tireless wandering, Kuros finally reaches the city gates in his greatest challenge yet, but it's only just begun. And then a high score list to underscore the, the importance of this quest. What do we got over here? Is there like a look at the high score list, and then now here's a little more. Ernie Shuttleworth, Esquire, proprietor of the Golden Dragon Hotel. I didn't realize we would get like introductory credits. This is quite the production. There's a totally different dude. Mr. Wilkes, keeper of the Red Dwarf. I have every episode. Come see me. Well, no, I'm watching it. I'm watching it again. Malone, landlord of the Lazy Wizard. Yeah, tell me about it. Here's another totally original character. Amos, innkeeper of the Fiery Dragon. Okay. This is all. I hope you're taking notes. Newton and Ridley, keeper of the Naughty Damsel. I was like, is there two of them? Newton and Ridley? I was like, oh wait, no. Those famous Metroid bosses, Newton and Ridley. Tubby Gilroy, barman of the Goblin's Armpit. No, Tubby. I'm coming in from the other side. I'm Sir William Avad, Knight Captain of the First Knights Guild. We can't possibly understand the story unless we're ready to meet every single character. Sir Timothy of Brookton, Knight Captain of the Second Knights Guild. Oh, okay, good. All these characters are in the new Fable. Sir Graham of Gardena, Knight Captain of the Third Knights Guild. He's the illest motherfucker from here to Gardena. Which is up the road. I'm from Irvine. Fingers, keeper of the First Thieves Guild. Okay, that's more like a riverside, like a real inland empire. Sup, I'm the cat, keeper of the Second Thieves Guild. Dude, this is crazy. This is still going on. This is still happening. I'm Slippery, keeper of the Third Thieves Guild. Gross. Okay, that's it. I think we can start the game now. Okay, so you hold down the sword button. It locks your feet in place. And then you can kind of wiggle the stick to get different, you know, you can forward to get a little bit of that. You got your upward and downward diagonals. Down gives you one of these. Any of the back directions just kind of jets you back a little bit, but I don't. Oh man, I already don't want to play this. Maybe I didn't need to kill that guy. I mean, he didn't seem like a bad guy per se, but... You guys want some, or are we just hanging out in a town? And, like, his helmet is detached from his... everything else, and... So we got like, it's not just pause me, it's not just a little pause jingle. When you pause it, you get a totally different song. Select key does not seem to do anything. Cannot go inside of this vase and find Fanto. Well, that was fun. Can't go in the closed doors. Cannot attack them to open them. Alright, maybe I just need to run to the left or something and stay on the ground. This guy wants some, like he feels like he gets close and he feels like he has a punch animation that he occasionally brings out, but alright, whatever. The brothers, the Pickfords. Oh no, I forgot this game has fall damage. Would go on to develop such hits as Wetrix and Sticky Balls for the Gizmondo. So, you know. Alright, this is the one we were in. Yes, and of course, Plock. Do I still have a Gizmondo? That's a good question. I can see 2 Gizmondos from where I'm sitting. Keeps me in check. Alright, we're back over here with the dog. I like that you can scoot these guys around. It's real... Alright, what? So here was this area we could go in and we didn't really see anything in there. There's this. Can we, no, we can't. Like, you'd think that maybe that could be another window or door or something, but. Okay, we scooted that guy right off this ethereal plane. All right, this is the only place, man, and I can't walk here, so it's not like I can go up the chimney for whatever reason. For whatever reason, this is like not walkable. Oh, we can stand on dudes. I like to stand on business. Get over here. Your new name is Business. Okay. All right. And look around some more. I like that he'll still do the fight animations even in areas where he doesn't have a sword. Real cool. Hello, what can I do for you? Wait, which one are you? I guess I need keys. Now, which guy is this? Now, open up your copy protection handbook, your copy protection wheel, and identify this shopkeeper. Otherwise, the game's gonna lock up. Okay, so keys open doors, maybe. Oh, there was one. Okay, yeah, that used a key. I was gonna say there was one door that specifically I remember having like a lock on it. Great subtle sound effects. Great, we got enough money to buy another key in this room. Thanks. Now we're getting somewhere. Were we looking for that? Is this fucking happening, dude? Have I hit him a single time? I assume that the message here is like, dude, you just can't do that. And we're out of keys. All right, great. Let's go buy another couple of keys. I would love to see some gossip because I could probably use some sort of something. Look at him. I mean, it'd be nice to have some health as well, but Oh my god, dude, this game. And, you know, we went around and carelessly collected all the food laying around before we had taken any damage, and so... Oh, hello. Her! You'll never beat me, weedy little man. Why is this fucking demon behind this? The combat feels absolutely terrible. And like you collide with enemies, so like there's a certain... Hey, we got the Silver Thief statue. One of these days, we're going to figure out where these statues go. And they're going to be like, oh, dude, we were looking for the... Wait, did you steal them? Why do you have these? You never came and said and asked... We never asked you to look for them. Why do you... What? It brings back 1 pip of fucking health. This fucking game. Oh my god, dude. See, this one actually has a keyhole on it. All right, well, we've got enough money for more keys. I'd like to heal, but like I can't afford it. Our need for keys is just too great. Let's go try to figure out, let's go try to find that actual, okay, we'll jump over these ones. Let's go find that door that actually had a keyhole on it. Okay, so yeah, see, this one needs a special key. That's what I figured, but good to know. Hey, congratulations. Thanks for opening this door. Inside is not enough to buy another key. Inside is about a half key's worth of value. All right, it's the first level of the Thieves Guild. Do you wish to join? Yes. Are you going to give me an outfit that I can use to get past the... Ah, you have returned the statue. Many thanks. Yes, I did. Okay, we got to pass the test. Oh, it's auto-scrolling. This is, I assume joining the Thieves Guild gives us different clothes that we can use to get past that dude. Are you shitting me? Why would you do this? You know what? Like, whatever. The Wizards and Warriors games are fucking terrible. Oh, so that takes a whole life. And it walks me all the way out of the building, so I have to walk in again to reinitiate the conversation. What the fuck? Hey, go in the door. Well, that time he walked out only taking 3 pips of damage. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. I waited too long and the door colors changed or something. I don't... Shit! Okay, so I don't want to go in that door while it's over the spikes anyway. But we want to do that. Wait, so did I need to wait and... I'm not sure what it wants me to do there, because sometimes like I'm standing on the door and it looks like there's another door of the same color, even though that door would kill me, and it won't let me go through it. So... Okay. So, like, right here, it should teleport. As soon as this door's here, I should go through that door and die. But it won't do it. It waits until it gets there. And I can't, like, fall off that side and catch the ledge. Either. So I need to find a way, like, maybe I need to wait longer for the doors to change again? Oh, jump to the door over the spikes, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, naturally. I hate this fucking game so much. Wait, I just gave you that statue. Here they go. They're falling out of the sky. What a mess of a video game. Ah! Yeah, that's, you know, I was just thinking, you know what I need in this game? A little less range. If you could give me a fucking way worse weapon, I would really appreciate it. So is this the fucking... No, that's not the... Now we need to find the bouncer guy, and I think he'll probably let us pass, right? Oh no. And you know what's inside here? After all that? Something resembling a Wizards and Warriors level. That's somehow even worse. I like that there's a music change when you change costumes. That's a cool idea. Do I need to bring fucking keys here? Do I need to leave here and go buy keys? I just want to go back to bed, man. Can I steal keys as a thief? Are they cheaper? Give me the gossip. This motherfucker. I gave this motherfucker $45, and you know what he told me? It'll be dark by nightfall. Amazing. It's the best part of this whole game. Yo, I spent $170 and it brought back 1 pip of life. I hope this game dies in a ditch. I hope this game fucking eats its own shit and collapses. You motherfucker! Are you kidding me? Good day to you, thief. Is there more here for me to do now that I'm a thief? No, all right. And you can scoot these little boys around. Little scooty dudes. Scooch, dog. I fucking bulled that dog off the ring space giraffe style. No. Yeah, they want you to just fucking buy keys. Welcome, thief, to the first level of the Wizards Guild. You wish to join? Yeah. You must bring the long-lost bronze statue back to this guild. Go now. You get to be a... They don't put it in the name. They're like, this game has wizards and it has warriors. And you're like, oh, hell yeah. But you can also be a thief. It's everything you hate about Wizards and Warriors in a slightly larger adventure that makes the... I don't know if I want to join this fucking Wizards Guild anymore. If this was the thing that was like killing them, they're like, we can't. Where the fuck is the statue? Shit. I don't know. I can't leave this desk. Yeah. I hate this. That drained all my life but one. Or something. Oh, look at that. This is like a ghost up there. Oh! Is it like a baiter? Does it show up if you wait too long? Ah, yeah! This game feels like they sat down and said, we're going to make something. It's going to have like some real fucking depth to it. You're going to have all these people to talk to. You know, games are more complicated now than they were when the first one came out. And, you know, we got to change it up a bit. Players are expecting more richer environments and fuck you. Fuck. It heard me talking shit. Like you hit your head on the other fucking thing. You hit your head on the other thing. The other thing, you can hit your head on it. Oh, come on, man. All right. Just hit any one of those. Like, your air movement is bad. And yeah, I just need to go back to bed, man. Can you beat the wizard's tests? all good wizards can jump on moving platforms. I hate you! I hate me! Fuck! 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 I mean, I'll give it to him. You know, there's a presentational aspect to this game that you gotta appreciate. The stupidly long intro where it introduces a bunch of characters and leaves out the wizards. You can beat all the thieves. Shit. No, don't waste the food. You're gonna need it. No money here. Okay, so that gave me 10 gold. I thought those were potions. I mean, we gotta open doors to get the fucking statues, and then we gotta return the statues. Like, this is the Thieves Guild, right? Which obviously we need to open. Oh, no. Okay, this is the one that has the statue. Okay, great. We really only need the bronze statue right now. I know the silver one's around here somewhere too, but... So the shop is up here and over, right? It's not... Oh, this is it. Okay. Okay, that's where we go to once we can become thief, we go there. But where is the actual Thieves Guild? Nope, this is the guy, the fighting, this is this guy. Oh, we never went in here before. Do I need a key to open the chest? Because I only have 20 fucking... You fucking kidding me? Hi. Wizards and Warriors 3. Kuros. The Visions of Power. It has an ambition to it that is, like, interesting, right? Like, you're buying keys, you know. Sort of a Faxanadu of sorts. And Faxanadu, you know, that's number 31 on the list right now. That's a game all about buying your J keys and getting all your stuff. A nice copy of Flexin' Dude. And people love that game. It doesn't. This game doesn't feel good. I think that's the problem with it. I think there's just there's stuff here, right, that, like I said, there's an ambition here, but like the tools aren't really in place to... No, it's not even tools per se. There's just a certain... Games of this era really didn't understand the idea, the concept, the value of explaining themselves to the player. You know what I mean? Like providing, and you could argue that I think modern games go too far in this direction, right? That, you know, there are so many games that just lead you around by the nose, and it would have a big world like this about you got to get keys and you got to go do this, but every step of the way it's just leading you right to where you need to go. And so exploration is reduced when you go too hard on that. This game sits in the middle in some ways, but also does it in the most frustrating way possible because they're gating every part of your exploration behind you buying keys. And so you find yourself like, okay, now I need to hunt around for money, and I opened the wrong door, and there wasn't enough money even in here to buy another key, so now I need to spend even more time hunting around and doing this, and that's fucking terrible. And there's a layer of obfuscation there that I think sometimes is deliberate. And I think when this is a game that I think, they set out to make a game in the Rare template, the Pickfords here, which I guess their studio eventually got bought by Rare. So this is Rare, but it's what is it? Zippo Games or whatever the studio they had before they went off to go do other stuff. if I remember right. Good games like Wet Tricks, a game you can believe in. God damn it. I think that there is a certain design style that we see in some of the earlier Rare games. Nightmare, Tick Attack, whatever. That really gets off on that sort of obfuscation. That really tries to get the maximum out of, like, we're not going to tell you shit about this world. Go figure it all out yourself. And that was a thing that, I think that could fly for a certain number of years for whatever. But I think a lot of times that also happened on computer games that would sometimes have like other things going on, different menus you could dip into and equip things and do, like there were fiddly bits to it that gave it something else. So here you have this sort of consoleized, like the number of options at your disposal. If this game had a button and if you could just hit select and bring up a menu, if you could find a compass early on that led you to unopened doors or the next objective or something of value that would give you just the lightest point in the right direction here, so you don't just find yourself stumbling around going like, well, I opened the wrong door and now we got to go save up for more keys and do this and that. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of linkage that this game could have to point players somewhere. Now, yes. So Rockbusta makes the point here that trial and error is the game. And so, yes, that is definitely a factor of the games that, especially the games that Wizards and Warriors 3 are is sort of following in the footsteps of a little bit. Like, yes, that is definitely part of the experience, and you learn it and you know it, and then 30 years later you go, oh, this game's crazy, but I know exactly where to go and do this because I still remember the first level of this game, and you feel all smart. This gets the added additional extra layer on top of that of all of the movement feels bad, the combat feels terrible, and one of the first things you unlock is a character that is even worse, which is very funny. The Wizards and Warriors franchise is a really interesting thing. The first game I played more of that first game. I remember I had my neighbor who was a couple years older than I was. I remember me very much wanting to not play Wizards and Warriors anymore, and him being like, no, we got to get it. We got to finish it. We got to do it. And like, all right, I guess we'll play some more fucking Wizards and Warriors. And that's more of an arcadey style, like collect all the diamonds to get the things you need to move on. And like that's a whole separate style of game in a lot of ways than this is. Iron Sword kind of sits between the two in a weird way, where it tries to do some things and has some options, but boy, that game's bad. But the first game, there's something about that first game, and I think it's just when it came out, and there just wasn't maybe a lot else going on or something, but like there is support for the first Wizards and Warriors, and it is the best one of the three. But that is not a very good game. Iron Sword, for some reason, I always remembered as having like a bigger, like the people were way more into that game. But maybe it's just that it gained notoriety for having Fabio on the cover before Fabio was truly Fabio. And maybe that's the only reason Iron Sword ever came up. I don't know. But I remember that game had a certain mystique around it. And then, like playing it here and ranking it, I think might have been the first time that I gave any real time to Iron Sword and realized like, oh, this is dreadful. This is a dreadful video game. This is worse. This is a markedly worse game than Iron Sword is. But again, they're trying to do something here, you know? This is, you know, after Simon's Quest, this is like they're trying to stretch this concept out into something that, you know, again, you know, whether it's a Faxanadu or, you know, like there's an attempt here to create a world in a sense, right? Of like, hey, here's this big non-combat area. Like you start the game in a town, you know? And then, you know, you get into some weird boss fights, and then you go into a cave, and there are not really many enemies there either. There's not like a lot to deal with. Like they're like, hey, what if we started with some more exploration and kind of moved more in that direction? You know, there's just a sub screen would help a lot. I don't know, you know, maybe not though. Maybe a sub screen wouldn't help all that much. Because I'm trying to think, like, what information would you put on there? You just flavor. Honestly, like, you could use a little more flavor if the economy was balanced in such a way that the keys were not, like, such a pain in the ass to get your hands on. Like, you want to explore the town, you know? And they spawn you in an area full of locked doors and say, I don't know, figure it out. Go find some money, I guess. And then you find the Thieves Guild, and then they want you to, like, complete an objective there. And what is the objective? An auto-scrolling platform stage in a game that has pretty bad movement. You didn't need to do that. No one did. No one needs that. No one needs that. And then you find the Wizards Guild, and he wants you to jump on a bunch of moving platforms, like things that like work against the game's, I was going to say work against the game's strengths, but really it's just leaning into its failings, because I'm struggling to really think about this game's strengths. Its strength is its ambition. Ultimately, I think that, you know, they do try to create a larger world, and they give it this big opening with all of the introductions of the characters that feel very, I don't know, self-indulgent. Felt like they were like really proud of the dumb names they gave to all the guild masters, and they're like, yeah, let's put this in here. Like, okay, yeah, his name's Fingers. We started meeting some of those characters, and it didn't even factor into it, you know? Like, you're thinking like, oh, well, all these named characters, like, clearly there's a lot going on here. But I think what you'll find when you see the entirety of this game, should you decide to, I don't recommend it, is that a lot of that is superficial at best. You do get a great game over screen, but this game is also weirdly caught in between the ambition of building something greater, of building something larger and more connected, and something more like a living world. And yet we still have the trappings of arcade games, a high score list, limited number of lives. You know, like, just, and that's not necessarily on the developers here per se, because I think that that's a very widespread, you know, the 90s is a time of transition for sure in that regard, you know, and by the end of the 90s, we talk about it all the time. We talk about Midway all the time. We talk about Midway on the Dreamcast. You know, by the time we get to the late 90s and into the early 2000s, there's still something of a struggle with, like, what are video games, like, how are they're more than, you know, they're certainly more than just arcade games. These games can be longer and more involved and more engaged, but you still have some of these teams that fall back on, okay, yeah, and you're going to get 3 lives, and we're going to give you no continues, and if you get a high score, you can put your name on the list. You know, like, there's still That's not a Wizards and Warriors 3 problem. I think that's something of like this era of the video game industry is struggling to figure out what to do with what is ultimately like a new form factor, a new, like it is still, the NES and getting into the SNES and the Genesis, of course, like you're starting to see the popularity of consoles, and it attracts a different type of player than maybe played some of those arcade games, especially as we get further and further away from that golden age of arcades. And you have the added pressure of the rental market and the resale market and everything else there starting to, swirl around here in the midpoint. Well, this is later than the midpoint, but this is well into the game rental era for the NES for sure. And so there's a lot to figure out, and not necessarily from as a sales perspective. I just think the medium is still growing so much here, right? Even a game like this that is kind of coming out past the NES's prime, and we're really leaning into the SNES and everything else, like you still see that struggle. And you see it across a lot of games. I think it's a really interesting problem, especially when you're revisiting these games now. And that's why I think so many players, it's great that the tools exist. But it's why I really like to play these games kind of straightforward. There's always someone in the chat going like, make a save state. And like, no, because that's not the game, and it's very easy to get very warped perspectives on a lot of these harder games where, when you're like just willing to just kind of save state your way through its more difficult parts. I love cheating in video games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh, you didn't really finish it, like whatever. None of that. I like play how you want to play for sure. But in this specific situation where we're trying to look at these games as they were, like remember, like the guiding principle here for me was a genuine curiosity of just like, dude, are these games actually any good anymore? I can't tell. And it's specifically because so much of the discourse and discussion around the NES has become so locked in and stale and also driven by voices on the internet instead of people actually playing the games. And so a lot of that is then like, oh, this funny guy shit all over this video game. It's one of the worst video games ever made. Ha 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 ha. And so it's this weird feedback loop where people don't play the game. They watch the game. They laugh at the game. They go, look at this piece of garbage. Deadly Towers. That's the worst game ever made. And like, and stuff like that starts to calcify. Because that's just what the internet does. And so, like this was that was the personal journey I wanted to go on, right? Is like, what the hell is this? What the hell were these games, and are they actually terrible? And the answer, like again, I was just talking about it, like there are a lot of like good to great video games on this platform that I think still hold up and still play really well. There have been games that surprised me with like just how good they were. Games that I didn't necessarily see a lot of originally that, I found like very enrapturing. And there are games that I loved as a child that are fucking, absolute garbage, it turns out. And it's been a very interesting ordeal, I suppose. All of that kind of gets in the way of what we're talking about here, which is Wizards and Warriors 3 Kuros Visions of Power. It's terrible. But it has an ambition. Now, the game that immediately comes to mind whenever we say that, I suppose there are two games that come to mind almost immediately when we talk about ambitious games that are terrible. Those two games are Dick Tracy and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There are people that show up in this chat that will try to tell you that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is actually a good video game, actually, and they're bad people. They're bad people who are lying to you. But that is, that is sort of what I'm talking about. Is like there are things about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there are things about Dick Tracy where you see like, oh, this kind of like they're stretching out and they're hinting at what open world games could eventually become. They've named the streets, they've done this, they've done that. There's things in Dick Tracy that you look at and go like, huh. Do not play Dick Tracy. This game is this game is not worse than Dick Tracy, I will say. Dick Tracy is a notably worse video game than this is. But let's start at the maybe one of the more direct comparison points here. It's Iron Sword. Wizards and Warriors 2 is an interesting video game, but only in the context of it being a follow-up to Wizards and Warriors. It's kind of cool in the specific way of, wow, they really kind of blew it out and did something like distinctly different. Or they kept some of the feel, meaning the terrible jumping and weird sword, his dumb animation. They kept all that bullshit, but like kind of, you're bouncing off of clouds, you're doing this, you're doing that, you get to see the dumb idiots googly eyeballs. Like, they made some choices in Iron Sword. And that's interesting, but it's a bad game. This game is worse than that. This game is both more ambitious than and worse than Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. It's no Linus Spacehead's Cosmic Crusade. It plays and controls better than Dick Tracy. But Dick Tracy probably beats it out on like an ambition level of like the stuff they're doing there in creating something that resembles a world, resembles an open world even, is really interesting. But God, this game sucks. This is worse than Dick Tracy. This is worse than Dick Tracy. It's worse than Trog. It's worse than Hudson's Adventure Island. It's worse than Yo Noid. It's definitely no Fester's Quest. This game wishes it was as good as Fester's Quest. This game would suck the grime off of Fester Quest's toes and pay for the privilege. Contra Force is a better game. Frankenstein the Monster Returns is a better game. Is it better or worse than Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight? It's sort of a weird... I guess Street Fighter's a better game. But Street Fighter 2010 is... scientifically speaking, it's right here, but boy. Brother, I hate me some Street Fighter 2010. Captain America and the Avengers is a better game. It's tough, man. It's tough to weigh the, like, legitimately positive aspects of Wizards and Warriors 3, meaning, again, the ambition of what they were doing. But if we were taking time into consideration, this would be a much shorter conversation, right? Because that ambition falls kind of flat because this game is a 90s game. When you think about the games that did similar stuff, whether it's Simon's Quest or whatever, and did it better, some of those games came out quite a bit before this. And so this pile of turds is, standing on the shoulders of giants. Giant turds. No. I mean, it's certainly no Simon's Quest. Christ. It's better than the Jungle Book. It's worse than Victory Road. It is better than Superman. It is worse than Stanley the Search for Dr. Livingston. It's better than Total Recall. It is worse than Gemfire. It's worse than Swordmaster. It's worse than the Incredible Crash Dummies. It's better than Thunderbirds. It's better. Is it better or worse than Thunderbirds? Thunderbirds, man. Fucking Thunderbirds. It's Thunderbirds is pretty bad. This is worse than Thunderbirds. This is worse than Freedom Force. You know what? This is worse than Godzilla 2 War of the Monsters. This is our new number 447. Wizards and Warriors 3, Kuros, Visions of Power. Now, is this the one they wrote the book about? Is this the one that has like the novelization? Or am I thinking of something else? The like Visions of Power series or what, there's like the... Okay, there you have it. Our new number 447. Congratulations. All right, Adam wanted to see the next game. Let's see here. Scroll through to it. This game is influential to me in a very strange way that maybe I'll get into. Not this version of it, but my roommate really had very fond memories of the SNES version of this game. It is NIgel Mansell's World Championship Racing. No achievements. Okay. From your friends at Gremlin. I don't think this game's going to have the speech that the SNES version had. Yeah. Let's improve with Mansell. No, let's race a single circuit. "16 tracks. That these are real tracks, right? I mean, this is which track is this in Japan? I never can remember the names of them. I just remember the layouts and go like, oh yeah, this is Suzuka, right? Yeah. All right, I'll start at round 1. The way it restarts this music in every menu has taken this from "I'm okay with this" to "I am not okay with this." Do you like it hard? Do you like it soft? Or do you like it wet? Nigel needs to know. Pretty decent sense of speed. It's a 2-lane road where your car actually looks like the appropriate width. Sometimes you get like a 2-lane track like this, but like your car itself is tiny, teeny. Which I, in some ways, prefer, just from the perspective of, it's easier to pass. You get your side mirrors. That's kind of neat. Great. Some of these are other... Schumacher's a real driver, right? These are all... I assume that means these are all real people. We've got a tires gauge. This game could use an option like, hey man, just listen to some music while you race. And it's music only because it's a British game. Oh, come on. I think we're good. It looks like tires are maybe our only concern here. I don't see a fuel gauge. Ugh. Your car is very big on the track. It's very wide. We may need to pit next lap because our tires are definitely taking some... So we'll see if it's in the Improve with Mansell section of the game. But the reason why the SNES version of this stands out is because Nigel Mansell would say things like turn, good, curve, good. I'll put it to you like this. My Wi-Fi password is still largely comprised of things Nigel Mansell says in the SNES version of Nigel Mansell's Championship Racing. We got 0 points. Williams Renault. Jordan. Yeah, I mean, this is they went and got the licenses, I guess, right? Oh, look at this. This is really neat. I don't think this game is necessarily great, but like it's really cool that it at least tries to do this. His advice is a little maybe underwhelming. Oh, avoid trackside objects. Okay, I mean, I guess if that's how you want to do it, Nigel. You know, the concept of a game like this having a racing line at all is pretty bananas. You know, this wasn't something you would really see with any regularity for another few generations. Bring me the head of Nigel Mansell. Brake before bends. I feel like the map could be a little bit better. Or they could have, like, you know, hey, you know, some turn indicators, like, hey, there's a turn ahead, like some kind of on-screen indicator of when you might want to brake before those bends, you know? I guess they've got the stuff on the sides of the track there. Also, I would love to have some positive reinforcement. The idea that once you kind of start dialing it in a little bit, he just goes quiet and you just see his stoic, non-moving, smiling face. It's incredible. This is kind of, I mean, like, this is a really good novelty, but in terms of giving you information that's going to make you better at racing this track, I don't know that there's much insight here. It's just that you're practicing the art of breaking into a turn a little bit, you know, and that's going to help you just get more comfortable with the game in general. It's not necessarily... And we'll see. Maybe when we finish this, it'll have some sort of, like, larger thing to say about it. I doubt it. Yeah, I wonder if in the PAL version of this, if he spells tires with a Y. This is a good sense of speed, and like I said, the car width is interesting because so many games give you a kind of smaller, a car that's smaller than the full width of a lane. Like this feels like a real 2-lane road, and as such, you know, passing is a little more challenging than it is in other games of this type. Slightly, mildly so. Like, I don't think this is like an amazing game by any stretch, but it's doing some things, and that's nice. Yeah, see, you know... %50 chance of rain. Okay, so it does in fact have the music option. I'm glad that there is at least a different song for racing than there is for the menus. And you still get some squeal, which is really the only audio that you need. But yeah, the cars are thick, man. It makes them trickier to pass than in some other games like this. Gonna send out a lot of greets to a lot of groups to this track. Uh-oh. Okay. I think there's something interesting when it goes like the licensed games of this era and when they would get a specific person like a Nigel Mansell or like a Magic Johnson's Fast Break or whatever, that you kind of have to make the decision of, are you going to play as the licensed guy or are you going to play as like a no-name character, an individual, like a custom character, and then be guided by the named character. In this game, you get it both ways. You are racing as Nigel Mansell, while the head of Nigel Mansell tells you how to get better. But I wonder if there was ever, I assume some celebrities, some sports celebrities have to have at one point had an agent or someone that came in and said like, oh yeah, you can make a video game with my client, but I mean, he has to win, he has to win like every race, right? I mean, he's got to be, you don't put Ivan Iron Man Stewart into a game and have him like not be the strongest foe on the track, like he's got to be good. Whereas if you are playing as Nigel Mansell, you are finishing in last place, and you see a lot of last place finishes with Nigel Mansell at the bottom. Okay. Last thing I'm curious about is, do some of the different tracks have different music? 1993. Yeah, I mean, this was primarily... Oh, and I guess you can decide, I'm going to be Nigel Mansell's brother, Jerome. Like, if I go and we do Japan, is it just the same race music? Okay. I figured this would be the case, but wanted to just double check. All right. Nigel Mansell's World Championship Racing. Again, not a great game. Serviceable, a little bit beyond serviceable, right? Like it runs fast. It controls just fine. I mean, it's got a wide variety of tracks and licensed locations and drivers and teams and stuff, which is kind of neat. Something you might not initially expect because it just has Nigel Mansell's name on it. But like, I don't know, like that's something. Again, it's been a long time since I've played it, but this is primarily a 16-bit video game, if I remember right. But I don't remember that game being particularly great either. But I don't know. The bleeding head of Nigel Mansell's in it, and that's kind of cool. It's certainly better than Wizards and Warriors 3 Kuros Visions of Power. It's better than Breakthrough. It's better than Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. It's better than Pinball. But like, here's the, we kind of get into some of this stuff. I mean, Indy Heat is not a realistic style of racing game on its own, nor is Super. It's better than Super Sprint, which is okay. If we were talking about the arcade version of Super Sprint and everything, we would not be having this conversation, because that is a fantastic video game. The NES port of Super Sprint is like brain dead simple, like it's weirdly easy. I believe we got every retro achievement in that game over the course, if not over the course of ranking it, then it did not take much more work after the fact to get the rest of it done. So this is better than Super Sprint. It's better than Danny Sullivan's Indy Heat. Indy Heat is a neat game. So it's better than Indy Heat, but like it's definitely like worse than, I don't know, Arkanoid. It's certainly worse than Arkanoid. Snow, Carmen, San Diego. You'd be better off with a copy of Solstice, The Quest of the Staff of Deimos. It's better than Battletoads and Double Dragon, The Ultimate Team. Is it better? This is a weird one. This is a weird batch of games right here. Like, is it better or worse than Dino Wars? Destruction of Spondylus. It's kind of a toss-up. I think this game handles well. It's worse, it's not, like, worse is a harsh word for what we're talking about here, but it is not quite up to that level. Thrilla's Surfari is a better game. Malion's Secret Castle. Dylan? That's a better game. The NES version of Prince of Persia is a better game. Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom is a better game, but this is better than Battletoads and Double Dragon, The Ultimate Team. It's our new number 268. Nigel Mansell's World Championship Racing. Okay. All right, there you have it. On another note, if we stopped right here and never ranked another video game, Harlem Globetrotters would be in 666th place. But unfortunately, the science must continue. I mean, who knows? Maybe every game will be worse. I mean, maybe the next game will be like, maybe that is where Harlem Globetrotters will end up. Next up, we have a game for the kids. A little something for the kiddos. It is. Where is it? From your friends at Califon Productions, Inc. Wheel of Fortune, Junior Edition. From your friends at Rare. Another Game Tech classic. Jaunty take on the Wheel of Fortune theme. So this is pretty much identical to one of the other Wheel of Fortune games we have ranked. It just seems like this is just going to have different, maybe more child-oriented phrases in it. Really want to spin the shit out of this wheel. I can't help it. I want to go hard. English channel? That's right. Kids love the English channel. It's a really harsh buzz. That is adjacent to the unlicensed game ping noise, that buzzer. I feel like there's sound effects. I mean, you know, like you wouldn't always be able to approximate every single sound from the original game show, but I feel like some of their choices are not amazing, I guess. Oh. I need to find out which Wheel of Fortune, because I think we've ranked 2 Wheel of Fortune games. I think there's the one that's like with Vanna White, and there's the one that's without, and I think this is pretty much the same as the one without the Vanna White license, the lucrative Vanna White license. This is Kanga. This is kangaroo? Is it kangaroo? Kangaroo's not a thing, though. Oh, no, yeah. This is... A kangaroo is not a thing. I mean, it's technically, sure, but I guess it's not a person or a place, but no. Okay, something National Park. Zion National Park? Is that a thing? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. No, I want the stereo equipment. Something carrier. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Aircraft carrier, right? Kids love aircraft carriers. Give me that stereo equipment! Yeah. Changed my life when I stole my parents' stereo system and moved it into my bedroom when they were out of town. They didn't use it. So this is, yeah, I mean, so there's Wheel of Fortune featuring Vanna White, and then there's just straight up Wheel of Fortune. I'm pretty sure this is just the same thing as this wheel, yeah. And it looks like Wheel of Fortune Family Edition is also the same bones. As this one. The original wheel. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I figured that was the case. I always, you know, the junior editions of games I think are a lot of fun. You know, just because I think when you're emulating game shows, the puzzles get kind of like wrapped up in a time capsule, you know, especially when we go back to play them all these decades later. And you kind of have to think like, well, what was hot in the fucking 80s for a Wheel of Fortune puzzle, for a place for that, you know, and I don't know, that's always kind of neat. So I'm gonna say Junior Edition is just, you know, it's ever so slightly better than a regular Wheel of Fortune. It's our new number 446. Should we just look at Family Edition here while we're here? Since we're here, let's check out Family Edition. Over 1,000 new puzzles, says the box art. Whereas Junior Edition just has hundreds of questions. Different music. The drop was kind of weak. I don't know. So some new audio, but you know, like similar, like the same effects, and the whole Mansell family is here to play. Just Jerome and Nigel, really. Phrase. That's a hard The way the cursor jumps when you encounter gaps is not awesome. And it's good that it jumps and gets you there faster, but it doesn't. It feels weird. Oh, big thousands. That's a tall order. Yeah, kids wouldn't understand that. Yeah, should we do a ROM hack of this and fill it full of filthy phrases? No. Just the one, huh? Okay. I don't know. Oh, Charlotte's Web. Okay, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Good call. Good call, chat. Speed up. Nope. Something and something? The Sanford and Son? Would they put a Sanford and Son puzzle? Would they say Sanford and Son? I guess they sure fucking would. Every family loves Sanford and Son. Awesome. I watched quite a bit of Sanford and Son as a kid, so I guess it checks out. Emerald Necklace, yeah. Caribbean Cruise, Beach House, April in Paris, no. Yeah, I want to fly on the Concorde. I hear that's a popular game. Game recognized game, retro achievements. Well, shit. A title. Forget? No, can't be a T, because we guessed T. Carmen? That's a good a guess as any. And it's the title. And we're running out of time, so I'll try Carmen. Carmen was hot. Oh, N. We did N. We did N. Now we're truly boned. No time. Oh, Harvey. Of course. Harvey. Everyone remembers Harvey, right? Man, I wanted to fly on the Concorde. I think this is slightly better than Junior Edition. This is probably the best of the trio. And they're advertising 1,000 new puzzles, which, you know, that's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know, it's a lot of puzzles. And the slightly different music obviously matters here. Okay. And, you know, the Vanna White edition is slightly better just by virtue of the Vanna White license. Understandably so. So there you have it. Family edition at 446, Junior edition at 447, and plain old Wheel of Fortune at 448. Congratulations to, I mean, not Vanna White. She's not in this. Tim wanted to see the next game. This one looks like it would probably be, my guess is that this is going to be another one of those dumb and okay at best Star Raiders ripoffs. But let's see. Maybe not. I mean, you know, well, we'll see. This is Star Voyager from ASCII. Just gonna scroll that same text right back on the screen, huh? Yeah. Oh. Well, now it's serious. Bum, 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 bum. The sounds of getting in a spaceship. Do you think that's the space station? I guess the blinking X's are bad guys. Okay, we can change the color of the ship here. I wonder if that's shields or... That's the space station. Okay, if we hold down B, we start to pick up speed. Where are we going? Who knows? What do you think we are? Do you think we're this square over here? When we do this, the numbers change. Also, when we do this, when we go this way, that center number changes. What could that possibly mean? Set heading for H3. So this is... I guess let's try to go to H8. Okay, yeah. Oh, I guess when I do that, it actually sets my heading there. That's kind of interesting. So let's fucking punch it. Looks like the empty square moved one more notch when we did that. Can we only jump one sector at a time? So I feel like I can... You know, like I can go to the map and I can select H8 here. Alright, now our shields are presumably up. We can shoot. And, B does speed, and if we hold B down until the left meter fills all the way up, we warp. But again, it only moved us one square, so... If I don't touch anything, will it... No, it seems like it just leaves subspace immediately. All right, now we want to go to G7. It looks like, yeah, so the 2 is presumably that we're 2 jumps away. Maybe they will have moved and will be in the sector for some, yeah. All right, we're in the same sector as some X's, so... Ah. I guess we probably needed to go to like a space station on our way to replenish fuel, huh? And like I do have... Okay, got another one. We'll get some speed going here for a sec. I don't know. Like, I don't really feel like I have like a true like impulse power. All right, we're out of energy completely. So, oh, I can't even steer anymore. That's how dead we are. So yeah, this is their attempt to make a Star Raiders. We've seen a handful of Star Raiderses on the NES. Okay, so let's see. We probably need to head in the direction of a space station for refuel purposes, so we'll head to C2 first. Shields down so we don't waste any extra energy getting there. The pips in the upper right are how many fuel crystals we have. And it looks like we burn about 1 per warp, maybe a little less. About 1 per warp, because it takes some juice to get up to speed. Okay, so there should be a space station here somewhere. Can I just roll up on this at low speed and have it dock? Well, that's not the... Well... E6. I feel like if I were running a space station, I would make it able to withstand more than 1 shot personally, but you know. Copyright on this is 1986. I think it hit the US in 87. So in a sense, it's a earlier NES game, but you know, the inspiration is even older. You know, this is a real 70s ass video game right here. This is some real late 70s gaming we're doing here. Okay, so it maintains a speed here until I tap B again, and then it will go back to stop. And I should not hit A. Do I really need to, like, slow? Yeah, there we go. Now do I hit A? Or is it just... Okay, we just sit here and it's going to refill us. Okay. Elaborate. All right. We're gonna go like a, I don't know, G something here. Black hole. Probability to escape is unknown. Well, we need to go one more warp to try to fight these guys. Let's see if we can get away from the black hole. Apparently not. I think that the way this game has you kind of warp one sector at a time is pretty crummy, to be honest. It's what do we think this is? The 4 squares here. Let's maybe if I hold down B, let's just try that. Maybe it's because I'm letting off B that it's... No, yeah, it just leaves subspace after one sector. I think warping one sector at a time is gonna fucking take forever, man. Going so fast. Oh, I missed what the message was there, but we're getting like sucked dry with whatever's here. It'll just warp us anywhere but here. Ah! We're drifting all over the place. planet nearby. There's a pretty good curve on the stars. Like when you're moving around, like I think they do a pretty good job of making that look all right. That's something that a lot of games don't do especially well with these kind of cockpit view space sims. Audio here just leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know. The whole thing is just in need of a little more. You know, this is kind of another game that has issues that could be solved with a more effective subscreen. See, like the stars curving over the surface of the planet. That's kind of cool. What even happens here? Do we just get filled up again? I mean, like there's not a lot of resources that we need to replenish other than, you know, fuel. So I have no idea what's going to happen here. Hello. We're going to play Superman for the 2600 down here. Look at these buildings. All right, cool. Good talk, everybody. Great. I mean, maybe sometimes you get a bonus there or something. I don't even know what that would. Maybe some of the planets are differently inhabited and you get running low on fuel to get out here. Well, let's see what the 4 squares are. The combat is not great. I don't know. The throttle control entering. Oh, it's an asteroid. Oh, okay. Great. Shit. Shields. But we're out of, I mean, we're out of fuel anyway, so now we're just adrift in space. What a fucking crazy thing. Star Voyager has something to offer, but you know, a lot of that is just because I have a soft spot for Star Raiders knockoffs because I find them so interesting. This is not a particularly good one, but it does have this little jaunty number. Star Raiders is a landmark video game. You know, late 70s home computer game. It had the benefit of, you know, you having a full keyboard at your disposal, and so not only could you raise and lower shields, Like, that's a game that didn't need a sub screen because you had everything at your disposal. You could turn around and look behind you. You could look at your, you had your different viewpoints. You had a whole star chart that you could warp to. You could hit S to put your shields up, throttle control with the numbers on the keyboard. But it's the same basic idea. You're in a star system. There are some space stations. Enemy ships will try to get to the space stations and blow them up. You should fly there and kill the enemies first. That's it. Fuel is a consideration. Damage, like your except here it just seems like damage just reduces your fuel supply, which makes sense. And they've got a few little extra kind of world events in terms of here's an asteroid belt and a black hole and some other little things like that. That's kind of neat. A little bit more variety, but you don't really have it. It really just kind of gets in your way because of the way the subspace works, one sector at a time. In most of these other games, you just pick a sector off the map, hit warp, and you go all the way there. And longer distances take more fuel, but you get there in one hop, and you're fighting. This doesn't seem to do that unless there is some mystical way that I have missed on how to truly warp at range. But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing feels weird. The curve on the stars is really nice, but the fighting's not great. And part of that is, just the way the throttle control works, but also just generally the movement of the enemies in conjunction with the way you shoot. Like, that stuff has felt better elsewhere. So I think this is neat because I think it's weird how many different companies and developers and whatever else, particularly even on the NES, like the number of Star Raiders knockoffs here is a much higher number than I ever would have guessed. I had no idea that any of these games existed, really. And so it is really neat to see that. And it's easy to understand why. I mean, Star Raiders is... I've talked about it before, I think, here, just in the confines of NES games, but the important thing to remember is that the original version of Star Raiders has a level of depth to it that just other games didn't at the time, which was like 1979 or something. Like, it's a ridiculously old game. I feel like I need to look that up every time because it just seems so unlikely that it's like, really? I guess it came out technically in 1980. But think about, 1980 is before most of the arcade games you played came out either. Also, like it's very early. It's very early. For a home game, especially. And it's a legendary game for a reason. And so it's not surprising to see these style of knockoffs existing in the generation that would follow, in the years that would follow. Star Voyager, I am mildly curious. This is a 1986 copyright. But I wonder if it came out in Japan significantly earlier or what the deal is here. No, so it just came out late 86 in Japan, September 87 in the US. So apparently your ship is called the Cosmos Station Noah. No, I'm sorry. You are protecting a transport ship called the Cosmos Station Noah from intergalactic terrorists known as the Moloch War Drivers. So yeah, it's neat to see that game being as influential as you always kind of hear that it is. You always kind of know that Star Raiders is a massively influential game, but you don't always see the games that took that direct influence until you start to get to other popular, like you look at like something like a Wing Commander and you go like, oh, okay, yeah, Wing Commander is taking this to the next level and doing different mission design and a lot of stuff like that along the way. I I would bet that Elite probably takes some of its inspiration from Star Raiders as well. But Elite is obviously its own influential fucking crazy, thing as well. So, yeah, it's, but those are kind of the massive blips on that kind of space simulation timeline, right? You don't really think about the games that kind of came between, say, Star Raiders and Wing Commander, other than Elite, obviously, but there are not too many that are notable. But there are more of them than I thought there were. That's been the interesting thing about ranking all of these games, is seeing like, wow, I guess I was right as a kid for loving fucking Star Raiders. Like, oh yeah, I guess I understand. Yeah, a lot of other people like that game as well, and you see it all over the place. This game is the Paradicus conflict. Ultimately, the Paradicus conflict is not a great game, but it does have just a little bit more going on in it than this does. The Paradicus conflict is not a direct descendant of Star Raiders, I think, as directly as Star Voyager probably is, but actually, I mean, it is kind of like right in here. I would say, it's certainly better than the last Starfighter, which is is that Iridium for the Commodore 64, just rebranded as, is that Iridium? Is that what the name of that game is? But the last Starfighter is just like a Commodore 64 game with a license slapped onto it. It's filthy. It's a filthy thing they did to last Starfighter fans there. So this is better than the last Starfighter. Star Voyager is, it's better than the Untouchables. It is better than Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. It's better than Caveman Games. It's better than Baby Boomer. Is it better or worse than Bible Buffet? You know what? It's better than Target Renegade, but it's no RoboCop 3. It's our new number 505. Again, I just, I'll always have some kind of soft spot for, not soft spot, but like a fascination, at least, with games that are so directly Raiders likes. And there you have it. All right. I think we can fit one more in here. Jason wanted to see this. And I believe this is the last one of this franchise. I believe we're wrapping it up today. Another franchise. Let's see here. This is Bases Loaded 4. $1993, pretty late, man. K-City. Why don't they should call Kansas City K-City? Does anyone do that there? You hear KC a lot. But K-City sounds cool. Utah, Texas, all the Major League Baseball teams are here. We got Winton. We got Camber. Ott. Jeff Ott plays for Kansas City? Ridiculous. The only Major League Baseball player to run a needle exchange program. So this is very much Bases Loaded 3 with, I was going to say a fresh coat of paint, but really not even, some of these, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to dial it in here. The players look a little bit different. I feel like I was hitting better in Bases Loaded 3 also. Oh. Like a rusty gate. Doing great. You know, again, this kind of like backwards, you know, upside down take on baseball they've done here, I think is kind of ridiculous. Also, I think the scrolling in this is maybe a little worse than Bases Loaded 3. Like, it just feels very jittery. Oh, that's gone. All right. Oh, what the fuck? I thought that looked like he was there to me, man. But yeah, this is, in a lot of ways, it's Bases Loaded 3 with different music. And I really don't remember Bases Loaded 3 being as kind of flickery and stuttery as this one is on defense when the screen is scrolling. It's the pitcher just running into shallow center field. Normal plays. There, we made contact. Oh. Yeah, this feels like, let's say, ever so slightly jankier than Bases Loaded 3. It's a very similar game. You know, the way that a lot of baseball games were, you know, like year to year, or I guess like a couple of years passed between this and Bases Loaded 3, right? Oh, kind of cool. Got away from him.
Safe. Strike. Strike.
Oh gosh. Looked a little high for a strike there. Okay. Everyone's just hitting it right at the first baseman.
Strike. Strike.
Slow roller, leg it out, man. All right.
Strike.
The pitching feels bad. I don't know. There we go. It's gone. Home run! Yeah, decent audio. Like the music is fine. But yeah, this is no Bases Loaded 3. Or rather, this is in a lot of ways Bases Loaded 3. But the feel is yeah, I don't know, man. There's like I said, this perspective is still just a bad one for playing the game of baseball. Hawaii got arms out there, man. Small ball.
Strike. Strike.
Yeah, but see, it's very jittery in the field, man, and Bases Loaded 3 doesn't quite do that. At least not to that extent.
Strike.
Like, I can't tell if there's just something going on with the pitching or if my pitcher is just completely fucking gassed or what, but... Real dumb.
Safe.
I figured out which button is which for jumps and dives, though.
Strike.
Oh, you still... Oh.
Safe.
Caught me sleeping. Quite literally. That may drop. That will not drop. Yeah, some of the perspective and, you know, it's just kind of inherent to bases loaded that that stuff's kind of not good.
Strike. Oh.
Whoa.
Strike. Strike. Out.
Just barely, man. One almost got away from me. I feel like I'm ever so slightly picking up the fielding again, but it's just the batting. Like this, you know, the stuff like this didn't happen on Ryan Sandberg's watch.
Strike. Strike.
You don't get to put him on the cover of your game like they did for Bases Loaded 3.
Strike. Out.
Some real hot ERAs here. Give me Tate. You know, left-hander, so the perspective changes. Which I think is like a dumb concession to make where, like, you know, again, you kind of want the batting to feel like a good, consistent experience. And so having this thing that, like, oh, now you get to see it from this other perspective and dial in your batting all over again, like, it sucks, dude. It does, like, you know, there is something to, like, the, oh, well, different pitchers should feel different or whatever. Like, that's kind of interesting, right?
Strike.
Yeah. That was just unnecessary. Look. Yeah, look at how jittery and, you know, like even the music wasn't keeping up there. Like, it's just... And I'm starting to make contact with the ball a little more often here, but like...
Strike.
Now that was a web gem.
Safe.
Man. Why, dude? Like that right fielder was like deep,
Safe.
in deep right field. And I'm backing him up a little bit here, you know, but like not that much.
Strike. Out. Strike.
Yeah, it's just throwing garbage.
Out. 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 Ball. Out. Foul. Foul. Out.
Oh. All right. We only need 7. Yep, that's going to get it done. Give me a hot dribbler.
Out. Strike. 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 Out.
Not great. Not a great performance. You want music? You like dickheads? And you got Juby and Vogler, Nuker. These are some hitters. Who do we got? We got Gage. We got Kilbauer. Beck. Bonds on the mound. Any say anything different in season mode here? You know, this is a more American looking ballpark a little bit.
Strike. Out. Out.
Let's just bat one more time and then I
Strike.
think I've seen what I need to see here.
Out.
Just rude. Just rude. Whoa. Yeah, better get it first.
Strike. Strike.
All right. So, bases loaded 4. Bases loaded 4. It's certainly no bases loaded 3. Which I think bases loaded 3 is the only good game in the series. And good, you know, like it's still not my favorite baseball game, but like scientifically speaking, like it they dialed it in for 3. 4 feels like it's weird, man, because like on the surface you look at it like the menus, the music, like there's a lot of stuff that just gets carried over directly from 3 into 4. But 4 just seems to run worse. They've redesigned the look of the players ever so slightly. Like not so much you'd notice unless you just like looked at 3 and then looked at 4. But like, yeah, it's an extremely similar game, but worse in every way. In ways that like I think actually drag it down like kind of a lot. Like this game feels bad. Whereas, like I said, bases loaded 3 kind of dials it in here. You know, we end up at number 101 here. But, like, this is no, like... like, you'd be better off with bases loaded 2. No, but maybe... okay, you'd be better off with bases loaded 1. But bases loaded 2 is pretty fucking far down the list. This is better than bases loaded 2. But it's no bases loaded 1. It's no Kiwi Craze, a bird-brained adventure. You're better off with a copy of Iron Tank. It's certainly no David Crane's A Boy and His Blob Trouble on Blobolonia. It's no Jimmy Connors Tennis. Be better off with a copy of Solstice, The Quest for the Staff of Deimos. It's definitely worse than like a Dino Wars Destruction of Spunulus. It's no Mule. Tombs and Treasure is better. You'd be better off with a copy of Yo Noid. It's a better competitive game, anyway. It's no Contra Force. But it is better than Bases Loaded 2. You know, but it's not much. I mean, you know, like it's no fun house. Exodus Journey to the Promised Land's a better game. Wheel of Fortune, better. Tetris 2 is a better game. All Pro Basketball is a better game. But this is better than Widget. It's better than Impossible Mission 2. Yeah, it's no Ultima Exodus. It's no All Pro Basketball. But it's our new number 490. Surprising. Again, especially when I first started looking at it, I was like, oh, this looks like it's just 3 all over again. That's cool. 3 was good. It ain't no 3. And there you have it. Bases Loaded 4. Thanks to everybody who suggested games for this week's show. Adam and Funny Dale and Tim and Jason. If you want to join the advisory panel, head over to jeff.zone and read more about it. You can sign up, suggest some games. You can get on the Discord and chop it up. You get access to a bonus podcast and, of course, the weekly podcast audio with no ads, all that good shit, and more. And more. And that'll do it for this week. We have a couple of games on the list. Graz wants to see Dragon Warrior 3. And Davis wants to see The Moffat Conspiracy. So I don't know if we'll get to both those next week, but those are on the list. We'll try to get those in there as soon as we can. And yeah. Have a good weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday with the podcast. I'll see you soon. Bye.